Perera. I'm joining you from Sri Lanka. I'm sure you would have heard a lot about Sri Lanka today, from morning up to now. Anyway, a little bit of Sri Lanka is about 5,000 miles or 8,000 kilometers east of you. It is an independent island located at the southernmost tip of India. It has a population of 22 million, an area of 25,300 square miles. The time difference is 5.5 hours plus GMT. Today it's 4.5 hours because it's summer time. The current time is 6:39 in the evening PM. I'm very honored and thrilled to have been given this opportunity to speak to you today on behalf of all Sri Lankans to celebrate the life of Denis Johnston. I thank the family of Denis for this privilege. I first met Denis in the latter half of 1970. It was over 50 years ago. I had just joined the Hardy Senior Technical Institute, now known as the Hardy Advanced Technological Institute. Denis volunteered and joined an organization called the Voluntary Service Overseas UK. I'm sure you heard about that today itself. VSO as it was called. The Google definition for VSO, I quote, VSO is the world's leading independent international development organization that works through volunteers to empower communities in developing countries, unquote. Let me repeat that. VSO is the world's leading independent international development organization that works through volunteers to empower communities in developing countries. Denis was posted to Hardy Institute based in Ampara, which is about 220 miles from the capital city of Colombo. Airlines landed in Colombo and you had to take a bus or train to get to Ampara, and at that time it took about 12 hours of traveling. Denis and 3 other VSOs from the UK also arrived at Hardy Institute about the same time. They were Chris, I'm sure Chris is there, and Tim and Alan. I'm not sure whether Alan is there or not. They all met at Hardy, they all met at Hardy Ampara, never having met each other before that. However, since that day, they have kept close contact with each other, meeting 2 to 3 times a year to catch up on old stories. I'm sure you have heard about this a little while ago. I and my wife too had a chance to be present at one of these meetings at the residence of Alan in Stoke Mandeville. I think it was in 2011. Sri Lanka, or Ceylon as it was known at that time, in the 1960s, 1970s, was an underprivileged but fast developing country. It had many development projects happening all at the same time. Sri Lanka needed trained technical personnel to man these projects. So there was an urgent need to get qualified persons from around the world to teach and train the locals. That was the reason that we had the good fortune to have these VSOs volunteering 2-year stints to work with the students. Denis, Chris, Alan, Tim, whom I mentioned before, were very young when they arrived at Ampara. I would say they were in their early 20s. I was 17 years old at that time, and most of my batch mates were in the age range of 17 to 19. Because of the small age gap, we managed to relate to each other very easily and also become friends for life. Sri Lankans predominantly speak the Sinhala language. Sinhala was our first language and English was our second. The Hardy Institute courses were in English, and we as students were struggling at struggling at various levels of difficulty trying to catch up. When Dennis came along as a lecturer in electrical engineering, I know for a fact that most of my mates found it very difficult at first to understand what he was saying. His different way of pronouncing, the rhythm in his speech, and the accent was baffling to say the least. There were many instances, mostly at the beginning, where we had to get Dennis to repeat what he said, even up to 3 to 4 times. Dennis never lost his cool. He very calmly slowed his speech down so that we could understand. Even though he was cool on the outside, we knew he was boiling inside. How was that? If you know the term rosy red, well, that was how his face was and how his ears were. I am also trying to slow my speech down so that you all could understand me. If not, my cheeks too could go rosy red and you will not even notice it. The friendships that we made at Hardy Institute were made for life. Hardy students, Dennis and others too kept in touch even after 50 years. Dennis had told me many times that he treats Sri Lanka as his second home. I'm sure you heard that phrase today. Dennis kept on visiting Sri Lanka, many instances with his wife, Veera, and sons, and I have met them on many of these occasions. I have also met them on many of my visits to England. We have kept in touch right throughout. In the year 2006, the Hardy Institute celebrated the 50th year of forming. I was the project chairman for the celebrations. We invited Dennis for this and he accepted. He arrived with his wife and son Robert. He was one of our guest speakers at the celebrations. Dennis, when it was his turn to speak, started off by saying, "If any of you have not handed over your coursework up to now, it is now your last chance." This had the audience in laughter. As you know, Dennis, he was in high form and kept the audience in fits of laughter. In 2020, the 50th year of our joining Hardy Ampara, we were planning to get together to celebrate. All details were set in place. Dennis and wife and the other VSOs with their wives had made concrete plans to travel to Sri Lanka. Well, COVID and pandemic put a stop to all of that. We have held many Zoom meetings online with our batchmates and others who were involved at that time. Dennis and the VSOs were regular members of these meetings. The last meeting we had was in February 2022. For some reason, we missed Dennis during that last meeting. Maybe a miscommunication. Robert Denis Johnston, dear friend, our friend, on behalf of my wife Ruchira, my batchmates, all other Hardians, the lecturers and staff of the Hardy Institute, all Sri Lankans, from your second home, I wish you goodbye. Bon voyage. Hopefully we will meet again in the land beyond. May Denis's gentle soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.